Jacob prepared himself for the long-awaited moment. With his caravan divided, gifts already sent ahead, and his heart burdened with fear, he finally saw Esau approaching, with 400 men by his side. Jacob bowed to the ground 7 times as he drew near, expecting judgment. But instead of wrath, Esau ran to meet him, embraced him, and wept. The brothers reconciled, and peace replaced years of rivalry. For Jacob, it was a testimony of God's hand turning fear into reconciliation. Jacob declined Esau's offer to journey together and continued on at his own pace, eventually settling near the city of Shechem. There, he bought a piece of land and pitched his tents. But peace in this new place was soon shattered. Dinah, Jacob's daughter, was violated by Shechem, son of Hamor. The young man sought to marry her, and negotiations began. Yet Jacob's sons, enraged and deceitful, demanded circumcision of all the men of the city as a condition. When the men of Shechem complied, Simeon and Levi struck them down in vengeance, killing every male and plundering the city. Jacob, horrified by their violence, feared reprisal from the surrounding peoples. God intervened once more, commanding Jacob to go up to Bethel and build an altar. Obediently, Jacob instructed his household to put away their foreign gods and purify themselves. At Bethel, he erected an altar to the God who had appeared to him in his flight from Esau years before. There, God reaffirmed his covenant, renaming him Israel and promising again that a nation and kings would arise from him, and that the land given to Abraham and Isaac would be his inheritance. But Jacob's journey was not without sorrow. As they traveled from Bethel toward Ephrath, Rachel went into hard labor. With great pain she bore a son, and as her life slipped away, she named him Ben-Oni, son of my sorrow. Jacob, stricken with grief yet determined to honor her memory, called him Benjamin, son of my right hand. Rachel was buried on the way to Ephrath, and Jacob set up a pillar on her grave, which remained a marker for generations. Later, Jacob returned to his father Isaac in Hebron. There, Isaac lived to a ripe old age before breathing his last. His sons Esau and Jacob came together once more, this time to bury their father in the land of promise. And though grief weighed heavily, a new chapter of the story was about to unfold. Among Jacob's 12 sons, one began to stand out. Joseph, the son of Rachel, was beloved above all. Jacob clothed him in a richly ornamented robe, a mark of special affection. His brothers, already resentful, grew more bitter as Joseph shared dreams of greatness. Sheaves in the field bowing to his own, and the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowing down before him. These dreams, given by God, hinted at Joseph's destiny, but to his brothers, they were unbearable arrogance. Their jealousy reached a breaking point when Joseph was sent by Jacob to check on his brothers in the fields near Shechem. Seeing him approach, they conspired against him. Some called for his death, but Reuben, the eldest, urged them not to shed blood, suggesting instead that they cast him into a pit. While he planned secretly to rescue Joseph later, the brothers stripped him of his robe and threw him into an empty cistern. As they sat to eat, a caravan of Ishmaelite traders passed by on their way to Egypt. Judah proposed selling Joseph instead of leaving him to die. The brothers agreed, and for 20 pieces of silver, Joseph was handed over to strangers and carried away. When Reuben returned and found the pit empty, he tore his clothes in anguish, but the deed was done. To deceive their father, they dipped Joseph's robe in goat's blood and presented it to Jacob. Believing his beloved son was devoured by a wild beast, Jacob wept inconsolably, refusing comfort. His household mourned, but his grief was beyond measure. Meanwhile, Joseph was taken to Egypt, where his life would soon unfold in ways none could yet imagine. Sold into the house of Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, his journey was only beginning, a path of trials, integrity, and divine providence that would one day change the course of nations.